Okay, today's video is about adding and subtracting mixed numbers. These will have like denominators and unlike denominators. As you can see, the main idea is add and subtract mixed numbers. Our TEK is still 6-2b. We're still working on adding and subtracting fractions to solve problems. These are our key concepts. First, you add or subtract the fraction parts as long as they have common denominators. Then you add or subtract the whole numbers and rename and simplify if necessary. Okay, here's our first example. Find 6 7/8 less 3 1/8. So, if you look at this, we notice that our denominators are both 8, so we're okay to go ahead and subtract. As we did this yesterday, there's a couple of ways you can write this. You can write this as 7 minus 1 over 8 for the fraction part, and for the whole number part, it would still be 6 minus 3. Okay? Let's look at the bottom of how they've done this. 6 7/8, 6 7/8. 3 1/8, 3 1/8. We are going to subtract 1 and 6, 1, blah, blah, blah. Sorry. We're going to subtract 1/8 from 7/8, which gives us the 6/8. Then we're going to look at the whole number part and subtract 3 from 6, which will give us 3 and 6/8. Now we know that that's not in simplest form, so then we must simplify to 3 and 3/4. Here's one for you to do on your own. Make sure you do this in your journal and show your work. All right, now let's look at adding and subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators. We have 3 1/5 plus 5 3/4. If you've done your prime factorization, your stack, your LCD and Z, you'll realize that the new LCD is 20. Okay? So, we're going to do our Z and we're going to put this as a 20. And this is a 20. Okay? Now we'll go 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 goes into 25. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so we're adding 4 20ths to 15 20ths. The whole number part is 3 and 5. We have the entire thing written right here. So 4 20ths and 15 20ths is 19 20ths. And 3 and 5 is 8. So our answer is 8 and 19 20ths. Now notice that this fraction right here is one I've talked about in class. It's called a consecutive fraction. The numerator and denominator are in consecutive order. So this fraction is in simplest form. Okay, here's our next problem to practice. Go ahead and do this in your journal. Make sure you work it out. Remember, you must have common denominators before you can add. Okay, let's look at this test example using mixed numbers to solve a problem. Alice ran 10 1/5 miles on Monday. On Wednesday, she ran 9 3/4 miles. How many miles did Alice run on both days? We have some important language that we need to make sure we highlight. She ran 10 1/5 miles on Monday, 9 3/4 on Wednesday, and they want to know how many miles she ran on both days. So I'm going to line up my numbers so it's easy to work with. I'm going to say on Monday, she ran 10 1/5 miles. Oh, I should probably write that 10 larger since it does represent wholes. So, 10 1/5. And on Wednesday, she ran 9 3/4. The first thing I notice is that our denominators are different. We're talking about fifths and fourths, and we need to have a common denominator. In order to do that, we need to factor them into primes. I'll factor 4 by 2 times 2. 5 is already prime. So our next step in doing this is we stack. We're stacking 5 and 4. 5 is equal to 5 because it's prime. 4 is equal to, do we have any 5s? Nope. but we have a 2 and another 2. So remember, everybody gets to come to the party. So we're going to bring down that 5. We're going to bring down that 2. And we're going to bring down that 2. So now we have 5 times 2 times 2. Well, 5 times 2 is 10. And 10 times 2 is 20. So 20 is our new LCD, our new lowest common denominator. That means that both 4 and 5 will go into 20 evenly. Okay? I'm going to slide our page down so I get a little more area to work. Okay, so now, remember that our new common denominator is 20. So let's write our new fraction up here so we have time. We have plenty of room to work with it. So we've got 10 and 1/5, and we have 9 and 3/4. And we're going to change them into 20ths because we know that that's a common number they both go into. Okay, so 4 times what gives us 20? Well, you should be thinking 5. This is when our multiplication facts are really necessary. So now we've got 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, same for the top. We'll go 5 times what gives us 20? 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Now we can add them up. I'm going to slide a little bit so I've got more room this way. And here we go. Okay, so now when we add this up, we've got 4 20ths and 15 20ths. Well, we can write it like this. We've got 4 and 15 20ths. How many 20ths is that? Okay, 4 and 15 is 19 20ths. And let's not forget that we have whole numbers over here we need to include in this. So 10 and 9 is 19. So our answer is I love this little gadget. It's so easy to use now that I'm learning more of it. Our new answer is 19 and 19 20ths. Okay, make sure you have that written down, you understand. Okay, here's your chance to practice. Make sure you remember that you must find a common denominator. Notice that you have fractions here and here. Make sure that you have a common denominator before you start adding and subtracting or whatever you think you need to do here. Do it in your journal and have it ready for tomorrow.